mooch along in behind. He's riding Apple Wine. Here's why 16s from 14s, but the one in the yellow and blue hoops, if you're watching with us in colour, Apple Wine, he's only been beaten once in 4 attempts over hurdles, and his latest win was a 2.5 length beating of Hopeful Shot, but he was getting £10 from the second horse that day, so he'll have a bit to do to reverse the form with Hopeful Shot. But David Goulding, this will be a race that he'll love to ride. He can just tuck in quietly and produce him if he's good enough. Beside him on the left there with the yellow cap and the red colours, that's number 35, Mr. Moonraker. He interrupted his 3 wins when pulling up amazingly at Fontwell, and he's enough form to run well. He's a real stayer, and the fast gallop here may just suit him. Martin O'Halloran in the saddle, and Martin O'Halloran getting a few winners now. Good to see him coming back into the limelight. You'll remember him, of course, from the Bachelor Hall days where he used to produce him and really come with a storming run. So that is 35, trained by Miss Susan Morris. So whole host of runs here. There, that's an interesting one now. That's Scenario, number 43, with his back to us, or her back to us rather, and Scenario formerly with Eddie O'Grady and running in the Monksfield colours. Well, if Dr. Michael Mangan can produce another one, or Des McDonough produce it for him after Monksfield, so soon after Monksfield disappearing, simply would be amazing. But this one came good at Listowel for the new connections, beating the older horses for auction and going straight, and that is good form. They do tell me this one's got a little bit of temperament, but if she gets a clear run, don't rule this one out. That's 43 Scenario. We have some more betting for you.
And Scenario 25 to 1. Broadsword 7 to 4, the favourite. Colmy 8 to 1. Homespun 14 to 1. Tie Anchor and the Very Thing on 15 to 1 now. Rad Tapu and Here's Why 16 to 1. Mansky 18s. Apple Wine and Fledge 20 to 1. 25 to 1 Scenario. Frassas 33 to 1. Jade's Double in Tinto and Little Walter 40s 50 to 1 bar.
There's Fledge just trotting past. Broadsword number 4 going out the favourite. That's Kathy's boy. Fledge is 22 from 20s, and Broadsword, as I say, looking very calm indeed. The one we're looking at now, that is Homeson, number 19, ridden by Bob Champion. Bob, who's trotting him round to keep him warm. Broadsword is 7 to 4 favourite. Colmy is 8 to 1. Homeson 12 to 1 from 14. 15 to 1 bar, but Peter Hopkins has already had his money on this one. He won't be backing him again. But he was really improving this horse, and at Sandown he won by no less than 25 lengths. He's coming right at the right time, just like Here's Why. Peter Hopkins, the owner of these two, he's got a great dual hand here. Bob Champion putting his goggles down. Mansky in the green, the Robert Sangster colours on the far side. They're coming under orders, so a good time to join you, Peter.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, the starter asking them to come up and form a line. The 29 runners for the 17th running of the Triumph Hurdle under Daily Express sponsorship.
Bring it on top of the gate.
The 4-year-old championship they're running. They're off and coming to the first of the 8 flights with The Very Thing, one of the first to show, with Mansky, and Frassas up with them. King Ragapan also among the leaders, and so is Little Walter, and over the first, Frassas landed just in the lead from The Very Thing, and Apple Wine has been brought down there. Miss Couture is the faller and brought down Apple Wine, 27 left, and one of the horses, I'm afraid, still to rise, and Apple Wine's rider, David Goulding, still to rise too. But Miss Couture's rider is up, and it's Frassas taking him along as they come towards the second flight from The Very Thing. Just in behind them comes Baron Blakeney. On the far side of Baron Blakeney is Ra Tapu, and on the near side Little Walter with King Ragapan, and Frassas well clear as they come to the second and jump it. Frassas over from Little Walter and King Ragapan and Baron Blakeney and The Very Thing and Ra Tapu and Tie Anchor and Mansky and Sharp Deal and Lear and Home Sun going up on the outside of them. Just in behind them Disco Dancer, and behind him in Tinto, and then Tilbury, and behind Tilbury is Jade's Double, and looking right back to the back marker. The back marker at the moment is Tie Anchor with just one in front of him, Kathy's Lad, and right out third in the country. Frassass setting him a very fast pace indeed. From Home Sun going second on the outside of Little Walter, King Ragapan on the inner, then The Very Thing. Just in behind them, Ra Tapu, Baron Blakeney, Sharp Deal, Disco Dancer. Frassass has jumped it, but didn't look too keen to do so, but he's still a long way clear, being pursued by a riderless horse. Mistake there by Tyanka in the rear, and it's Frassass from King Ragapan. In third place on the inside, The Very Thin. Home Sun well there on the outer with Little Walter and Sharp Deal over the fourth. Frassass well clear. Little Walter then jumped that second. A mistake there by Mansky. Home Sun going up on the outside. Ra Tapu holding his position. Tyanka improving on the inner. Broadsword is about 10th now behind the leaders. The favourite, and over the fifth there, still Frassass well clear from The Very Thing. On the outside of The Very Thing is King Ragapan with Baron Blakeney right up with them, and then Tyanka, then Home Sun. Behind Home Sun is Broadsword, then Mansky. Ra Tapu losing ground fast now as they come to the third last flight. Frassass from The Very Thing, Home Sun, King Ragapan, Tyanka, Sharp Deal on the outside. Broadsword is next. Ra Tapu getting back in the picture now. Just in behind him is Lear, and at the top of the hill, two left to jump now. Frassass in the lead. From Sharp Deal gone second, The Very Thing third. Home Sun is four on the outside, and then Tyanka. Just in behind Tyanka, My Timmy making good ground with Broadsword and Mansky, and behind them Ra Tapu, and then comes Jade's Double. Running down the hill now towards the second last in the Daily Express Triumph Hurdle, and it's Frassass being pressed by Sharp Deal. The Very Thing on the inside. King Ragapan is right on top of them too with Tyanka and Mansky. Fledge is also improving well. Broadswords just in behind the leaders, coming to the second last. Frassass lands just in the lead there. Frassass from Sharp Deal. Then Fledge improving well towards the outside. On the inner it's Mansky and Broadsword coming there in the centre. And as they level up the home now with one flight left to jump, it's Mansky in the lead. From Tyanka and Broadsword, the favourite, coming to try and challenge Mansky now as they come to the final flight. Mansky under pressure, Broadsword coming to challenge him. Tyanka's in third, Baron Blakeney four, and Fledge five as they come to the final flight. Mansky being pressed by Broadsword. Broadsword and Mansky over the last. Broadsword lands in the lead, and it's Broadsword from Mansky now as they race into the closing stages. Broadsword from Tyanka now gone second, then Baron Blakeney. Baron Blakeney putting in a tremendous run as they race towards the line. It's Broadsword from Baron Blakeney. It's going to be a photo finish. Baron Blakeney's just going to get up at the line. Baron Blakeney wins it from Broadsword. Mansky is third and four. Here's why. Behind them came Mansky. Behind Mansky was our Barra Boy, and then Synadia, and then Fledge. Behind Fledge was Colmy, and then Hopeful Shot, and then a Ra Tapu. Behind Ra Tapu was Mr. Moonraker and My Timmy, and looking right back to last place it was King Ragapan. And so the result of the Daily Express Triumph Hurdle, first number 3, Baron Blakeney, owned by Wheatley Leisure Limited, trained by Martin Pipe, his 10th winner of the season, ridden by Paul Leach, number 10 for him. Second was number 4, Broadsword, owned by Lord Northampton, trained by David Nicholson, ridden by Peter Scudamore. And third was number 45, Tyanka, owned by Mr. D. Hale, trained by Paddy Prendergast, and ridden by Tommy McGibbon. Fourth was number 18, Here's Why. Here's why, fourth. Here's how Baron Blakeney won, as we review it with Richard Pittman.
Well, as they come here, would you believe that Mansky wouldn't finish in the first 3? Mansky in Robert Sangster's colours on the far side. Broadsword coming smoothly to come and meet him, and meets this one just right. A really good jump. You would think that that clinches it, but the winner is in 4th place at this stage. You can see a lot of horses breathing down the necks, but at this place, Peter Scudamore has produced Broadsword just right to go away and win. He's got the loose horse to help him gallop, but to all the time you can see Baron Blakeney in those yellow colours making relentless progress. This horse who'd won at Worcester last time out, I think Paul Leach has lost his whip because he was hitting him down the neck with his hand just now, but it's effective because his hands and heels, he's pushing him and getting there. Broadsword has done it all, but on the line he's pipped from behind by Baron Blakeney to win a major prize for a small stable.
Yes, what a triumph this for the small stable of Martin Pipe. Trains at Wellington, only his 10th winner of the season, and 10th also for Paul Leach. Bred at the Glebe House stud, this grey by the Derby winner Blakeney, out of Teleflora. Just got up in the closing stages to peg back the long-time favourite Broadsword and land a 66-1 triumph in this 17th running under Daily Express sponsorship. Now, after two 25-1 chances yesterday, this, of course, outstandingly the biggest shock result of the meeting. Fine run by the favourite. It's a very long run from the last flight here on the new course at Cheltenham. He looked to have it won with only the loose horse's danger halfway up the run in, but just didn't quite last home to give his trainer David Nicholson a marvellous 42nd birthday present. Officially third, Ty Anchor, the best ultimately of the Irish 10 runners. There were 10 Irish trained runners and no less than 15 Irish bred in the race. Darren Blakeney, although a 66-1 chance, completing a hat-trick here. Won his two previous races at Wincanton and Worcester, and in what looked likely to be a photo finish 100 yards out, ended up with him winning by 3 parts of a length, with four lengths separating second and third. Ty Anchor third. Here's why, the very fast finishing fourth, and Mansky, who was the horse that Broadsword had to come and challenge, ultimately fifth. And so the starting prices and trial a dividend as follows.
First, number 3, Baron Blakeney, 66-1. Second, number 4, Broadsword, 7-4 favourite. Third, number 45, Ty Anchor, 14-1. First, Baron Blakeney, 66-1. Second, Broadsword, 7-4 favourite. And third, Ty Anchor.
For in his day.